Hey.
Good evening.
Huh?
Good evening, I think. I don't know.
Well,
I'm very confused. It's been a very long week, and it's Tuesday.
Not knowing where you're coming or going, and the day's just begun.
Yeah, I did a Viking festival on Saturday
Oh, shit.
in Marshall, and that was from like 9 a.m. until midnight. So I got home at like 1:30. I get to go back and do it again in October for 3 days instead of 1 day. So if you're looking for something to do October 8th through the 10th, there's a Viking festival going on.
Excellent.
Called something. Fuck, I don't know.
that'll really help me find it, Gar. That'll be awesome.
It's in Marshall at the Calhoun County Fairgrounds. It is called Viking Warrior Fest. And I believe this one is Feast of the Kings or Feast of the Jarls. So,
And you can find that on VikingWarriorFest.com.
yeah, there you go. It's also on Facebook.
Also, hi, Cabra. I see you there.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I got to click on comments for me to be able to see it.
Yep. Steel City Witches Cabra.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Who shows up and spits wisdom in our chat sometimes, and, is also now on TikTok, so,
There we go.
I'm just going to pimp your shit. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, so they just joined TikTok, so you should definitely check them out at Steel City Witch on TikTok.
Hi, Melkor. Hi, Josie.
Oh, by the way, we're Three Pagans on Tap.
Oh, yeah. Three Pagans on Tap. That's us.
This is episode 18.
It is indeed
Good
episode 18, which
God.
is kind of crazy.
Right? Holy shit.
And we do it every 2 weeks, so that's 36 weeks we've been doing it, roughly.
Yep.
So not too much longer, we'll be a year in.
I know.
Yeah. Shit.
Which is crazy. And then Gwen, Ode, Jackson, and I debuted a new YouTube series yesterday
Awesome.
called Three Pagans Eat. And it's just us reviewing restaurants and shit we've been to. And food, the food we had at those restaurants in particular. So, and drinks. Uh-oh.
I mean, yes, Josie. Josie says, in Maleck's drinking already, that kind of day? I mean, yeah, it's fine.
It's been that kind of week.
Yeah.
And then Finn's calling us out for forgetting.
We didn't forget. I was sick.
Yeah.
And there was miscommunication last week.
Yeah.
Because somebody assumed we were skipping the week previous, and then we were doing it last week when that was not the case.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's all good. I don't mind calling you out.
To be fair, it was said skip a week. And so me being the hyper literal minded person that I am assumed a week meant 1 week, not till next time, because, hyper literal. It's fine.
It's all good.
For future reference, the off weeks that we don't do this, I do a Dungeons and Dragons game at the brewery. That's Viking based, so I can't miss that.
That's badass.
So, hey, I mean, it's not often you get to play a Jotun, so I'm taking advantage.
I mean,
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Maleck, I believe you have the prayer.
I do. Give me one.
That's already 4 minutes into broadcast. I haven't.
Hail to you, O wild-eyed, O one-eyed leader of the host, who leads the armies out in spring, and in victory back to bloat. Welcome back, Father Wolf and Bear. Welcome back, leader of the spear. Welcome back to victory and fields that need to till. Blood now spent, but passionate still. Thank you for this victory brought, year in after year. Thank you, Father. Best of Ohio.
Best of Ohio.
Okay, so quick update on the car's no longer a druid path. So I have an Awen that I've worn for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. But the leather band on it broke, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. So I got a new leather band for it and put it on, and it felt incredibly fucking wrong. So I took it off and set it in front of Kernonos and the Dagda and for a week. And then it still felt like it was wrong. So it's now going to sit in front of those two gods until whenever I feel like I can move it along. But I'm definitely moving towards the Norse pantheon. I did just also buy 12 miniature god statues and put them on our bar with a
One of us.
So,
That is really cool.
this is L.
Through pagans and increasingly converging paths? I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. So there's definitely Ode says I can't blame you all. It's my fault for blowing a horn and pouring out a mead every time we're open. But
I mean, you can blame me. I'll happily take the blame for it. But no, it's this is your own choice, your own path. And it's actually really cool how you came to it because it was so organic.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not like I was looking for it or I thought I was pretty happy on the druid thing, but yeah.
Well,
I guess when you start worshiping the Norse gods, they want to have more to do with you.
Weird, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you give a moose a muffin, it's like
kind of.
they're gonna want.
I'm not sure how that relates, but I've never given a moose a muffin. So,
have you ever read the book?
No.
Or
gods
is another version of that story.
I don't even know what book you're talking about.
It's a whole series of children's books. Like if you give a cat a cupcake, and it rolls into this entire series of events that is silly and adorable.
Yeah, I want to say the first one, which is give a mouse a cookie. It starts with like, if you give a mouse a cookie, they're going to want a glass of milk to go with it. Then if you give them a glass of milk to go with it, they want the next thing. And if they give them that, then they want the next thing. And
it's like fetch quests, but for wild animals.
Kind of.
Finn, Car is not a moose.
Are you sure?
Well, here's the question, Car. If we give you a muffin, are you going to want jam to go with it?
No, I don't like jam.
There you go.
So, yeah. All right. So who wants to start this mess? I have 3. Everybody else, where are you at?
I got 3 or 4.
1? How many, Sarenth?
3 or 4.
3 or 4? Okay. Well, if you got 4, you might as well start.
All right. So the first thing up, I just cracked it. It's called apple pie. The kind of unifying theme, I guess, tonight is just stuff that I happen to have lying around that I haven't tried before. Back when I was thinking about doing my own brewery on my own and not partnering with awesome people, I went over to Bee Nectar Meadery to kind of scope out things that I liked that they made. So I bought a shitload of their drinks, and this is one of them. And the net contents is a 16-ouncer from 18. ABV is 14%. Oh my god, that's not bad at all.
Apple pie is a really solid one. It's not my favorite, but I like it a lot.
Yeah. And it's just
carbonated or still.
Still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not carbonated. Okay. It's carby, but it's not carbonated.
I didn't know Bee Nectar made stuff that high ABV.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And the other one from Bee Nectar that I thought was kind of appropriate given the today is May 4th is their episode 13.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'll try that one later. I took one good look at it, went, oh my God, it's a Walker made out of beer barrels. I got to have it. I don't know what it tastes like, but I got to have it. Yeah, this is really good. That's good shit.
I'll be interested in your opinion on that one.
What, episode 13?
Yeah. I'm not going to share my thoughts until you do. But
all right, I'll go next since Maleck is still drinking the one that he made for himself. For themselves. Transient Artisan Ales.
Ooh.
This is west coast of Michigan, but is available throughout the state. It's in Bridgman, Michigan. And this one in particular is called Shapes and Lines. Well, if I can turn the can enough.
there we go. IPA, 6.3% ABV, 1 pint.
Yep.
No, is
That's
that a 16 ounce or 12 ounce pint?
I'm sorry?
Is that a 16 or a 12 ounce pint?
16. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, all three of these are 16s.
Sweet.
Not that I'll drink them all, but it's a good start. I haven't had this transient ever.
Hey, Carly. It has been a while. Nice to see you.
Yay.
How is Shapes and Lines?
So, Maleck, maybe you can answer this because I don't know the answer to this question. What's DDH? Is that dry hopped? Double dry hopped?
Probably, if I had to guess.
Yep. Okay.
No, I feel you, Finn. I'm kind of sick of IPAs at this point as well, but at the same time, I'm actually really surprised when I find one that doesn't taste like I'm just straight up walking over my lawn.
Yeah, this one has a very interesting flavor to it. It's not grassy. It's not piney. It doesn't say what it was dry hopped with. So, which does affect,
Yeah.
a lot of the flavor in it, especially in an IPA. I'm actually trying to look them up real quick to see if I can find out what the fuck this thing has. Okay, officially their website sucks balls. What?
Oh shit.
Yeah, I can't even find it on their friggin' website. What else?
Awesome.
But it's very good. It's 6.3.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not there's nothing to be like bad about it, but it's also not the best double IPA I've ever had.
So kind of just a bog standard IPA.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I paid $2.99 for it.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
not bad.
So I mean, for a $2.99 beer,
Can you highlight Finn's comment really
Oh,
quick?
Jesus.
yeah, the Juice the Wolves.
Juice Wolf sounds like a port account for furries. I'm just saying.
Right. That Juice Wolves Pineapple Milkshake IPA shared in the Discord was amazing, says Finn. Yeah, that sounds like a bad porn account. But please don't juice the wolves, says Josie.
Juice the wolves at your own
L
risk.
says, juice the wolves at your own risk. Yeah?
I'm
If they
waiting.
howl, that means you're doing it right.
I'm trying so hard to be the responsible adult in the group. It's not working.
Ooh, porn wolves of London.
What the fuck?
I'm not even half this in yet. This is gonna be a good night.
I need a
I can
drink.
now see Maleck having an OnlyFans called Juice the Wolves.
Oh my god.
You said that right as I was taking a drink. I almost spit it all over my laptop.
Don't spit juice all over your laptop. Save that for the OnlyFans. Oh god, it's gonna be a long night.
Melkor, there are 2 wolves in you. Both of them are juice. This is the tangent we're going down.
Oh god. Thanks, Finn.
Thanks for that.
Honestly, if I had this in a glass with some whipped cream, it would taste like I'm drinking apple pie. Just random aside.
You're good. When I drank it, I even got almost I could almost taste the graham cracker crust too, which was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is something that's missing from a lot of pie ones, is that you miss the crust portion of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should be able to taste the crust, but I don't want crust in my drink.
Yeah. That would be bad. Would you throw Finn's comment up real quick?
That's badass.
Yeah. So Finn, considering it is the first and only indigenous-owned brewery in Oklahoma, Skydance Brewing was playing off their ancestry. So jokes aside, that's really badass and awesome. And
yes,
yeah,
I'm totally on board with. I thought we had a brewery, indigenous-owned and operated, open up here in Michigan, didn't we?
Do we?
Not that I know of. I know that there's a new Black-owned brewery up in Grand Rapids. That's the first Black-owned brewery.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. And they're currently brewing on somebody else's system, but they're really close to getting their own place open.
Very cool.
That is so cool.
Jim, crusty beer sounds. Yeah.
Another thing to add to the OnlyFans.
Crusty beer. Hey!
Manage it when you're drinking both times. Sorry about that.
It happens. I feel like it's just the way.
Who wants a piece of the crust?
Can you get juicy crust? I'm just saying.
Yeah, why not?
Sarenth, what is that voice?
Have you never seen The Simpsons?
I mean, I have, but I don't think that's a Simpsons voice.
That's Krusty the Clown. I'm trying.
There we go. Okay, now it makes sense.
Says Skydance makes damn good beers. Going to try and get some to us.
That'd be awesome. Hell yeah.
I am always open for free beer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to do my yearly birthday instead of birthday.
Oh, shit.
And I would just have everybody send me their favorite can of beer.
Nice.
Yep. That's pretty badass.
You know, if you do that by how many years you've been on the earth, though. Oof.
No, I did this before we even had 3-pack. So
cool.
I can't imagine what it would be like if I did it today.
Yeah, that'd be kind of rough.
Gwen would hate me.
Yeah.
It's what it would come down to.
Yup.
I'd have to buy a beer fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and not like a little one, like a full-size one.
Right, exactly. Aw. Man.
Well, considering I like you 3 and you're awesome, it's the least I can do. Thanks, Finn. We like you.
Sweetheart.
Actually.
For me, too, has already been interesting to walk lead into. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, we strive for nothing if not interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Carly says they're going to have to start doing the beer day thing.
Drink responsibly.
I
You
would.
don't have to drink them all on that day.
Oh, well, I was going to say, may the gods be in your favor.
And then Jeremy Kaminsky, who's the head brewer at Founders, gave me like 5 cases of KBF for my birthday one year.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I ended up eventually making broths with KBS.
Ooh.
It's just so much of it.
Well, fuck it.
Right. Holy shit.
It serves as a ketchup too.
And you hear the beer bros losing their minds about somebody doing something besides drinking beer.
Yeah, I'm
What?
sure.
Finn does Scotch Mist. That's pretty neat.
Scotch Mist. Jesus.
I
Look,
think
some
I think-
motherfuckers leave out cookies for Santa. I leave him scotch.
I mean,
Hey, Jack.
hey, Jack. Nice to see you.
Welcome. Elle does mimosas.
Mm.
I'm starting mead mimosas.
You know, I've never had a mimosa.
Oh, I love mimosas.
Also, what is up with bros and shit at bars being all, well, not just bars, but in general, just being like, oh man, those fruity drinks. Like, motherfucker, some of these fruity drinks are like 3 to 4 times the alcohol content of that shit beer you have in your hand.
It's the toxic masculinity.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So-
Yeah. Oh, it's so gross.
Oddly enough, our fruity meads
Mm.
tend to sell better to the guys than all the women are like, hey, do you have something that's really dry? So
Have you noticed the company?
we could do a mimosa bar episode.
We could do that, yeah.
Aren't we supposed to be going out to Tepar soon?
At some point, yeah.
I know we've been saying that for a while, but I think I actually have it scheduled for this month.
Do we?
Yes, I believe on a Sunday.
Okay. We should talk after the show about that so we actually
should.
Yeah.
Probably.
And I need to actually like put it in my calendar physically, otherwise it will right out of my brain.
So we're doing a show next week, right?
God damn it. Don't start with me.
Friend had a prickly pear margarita the other day.
I have never had a prickly pear in general. I wonder what that tastes like.
I actually have a prickly pear meaderita that we're doing tomorrow for Cinco de Mayo.
Damn.
Prickly pears are generally like a really, really mild flavor, kind of pear-like, but very mild.
But are they prickly?
I mean, the outside.
Because it's a cactus.
Yeah, it literally comes from a cactus. Mostly what you get out of them is a really cool color because they're like a bright pink purple. And you might get a little flavor, but not a lot. You actually get a similar thing with dragon fruit. It doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it can have a really cool color that'll add. So it's like your mead turns like neon pink or neon purple. That's really interesting.
And dragon fruit tastes like a mixture between kiwi and pear.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like both of those.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're good enough to like go out and get the juice made for you so that you don't have to put them in, it tends to have more flavor to it.
Yeah. Because it's more concentrated.
Right, yep.
All the pulp.
Exactly. Which is how I do prickly pear and dragon fruit.
Nice.
And Finn said the color was amazing on
Okay.
his margarita.
I believe it.
I'll take pictures and post them for my 2 drinks tomorrow.
That'd
I
be
know
cool.
about the prickly pear. I don't remember what the other one is. And then we have tamales as well. So
Oh, sweet.
if you're in the Kalamazoo area, come by.
I love tamales.
I love tamales, but it's so hard to find good tamales.
Yep. And we found one near us, and then went over and talked to them, and they're supplying them.
Nice.
Yeah, because that's...
When your place is called Premium Authentic Tamale Kitchen, it's got to be good, or you're going to go out of business really fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, who's up?
I believe you, actually.
Okay, cool.
I mean, unless you want to wait and let Sarenth and I go again, and then you can go.
I'll go. It's not a problem.
Okay.
So I am unabashedly using this as a record, a physical record of the drinks that I'm making for the cocktail book at some point. Because Gods no, I'm not gonna remember, and I can't write anything down. It's like I'm allergic. It's fine. Um, so tonight's drink is another spirit-led cocktail. This one is 2 ounces of simple syrup, 1 ounce of lime juice. Fresh lime juice is better, but I didn't have it. 2.5 ounces of tequila. It should be gold tequila, preferably. Fairly important. 1 ounce of aquavit and 1 ounce of Grand Marnier. 3 dashes of orange bitters and 3 dashes of wild hunt bitters, although any kind of aromatic herby bitters would work, depending. Serve over ice, stir, enjoy. It's fucking delicious. It's like a margarita meets an herbaceous cocktail, almost like a gin and tonic or something. It's genuinely phenomenal. Like the earthiness of the herbs perfectly matches the spicy, peppery, bright flavors of the lime and the tequila, and then the sugar backbone from the simple syrup just kind of makes it go down smooth, and it's amazing.
So which aquavit did you use?
The one that I reviewed, it was from Long Road. It was their it's their plain aquavit, not their barrel aged one, which I'm still kicking myself I didn't get their barrel aged one, but there you go.
So is it just coriander, or do you know the other spices that are in it? Because aquavit can be many different things.
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I did, but
so for everybody, I mean, we've talked about aquavit a couple of times, but for everybody who's wondering, it's basically gin done with coriander instead of juniper.
Yeah, and various other spices, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's coriander forward normally.
Yeah.
So my question has nothing to do with the brewing process, the aquavit, or any other shit. You've had a couple of cocktails where they've been spirit led. So why don't you talk about that process?
Yeah. So it goes about the same every time. Basically, I have an altar on my bar. It's just a little platter with a couple of offering vessels and a candle. So before every show, especially, and generally when I'm going to make one of these cocktails, I'll do a small ritual, light the candle, make some offerings. And I pray specifically to the alcohol spirits and to Kavesir as the mythological source of alcohol in the cosmology that I'm working in at the moment, which is complicated theology I'm not going to go into. Brain. Okay. So then I will kind of go into a light trance that can hit a heavy trance as needed. And I will basically ask the spirits, all right, who's working with me tonight? Who am I drinking tonight? And it's kind of a negotiation process, because it's like, all right, what do you want to drink? All right, well, Cinco de Mayo is coming up, so I'd like to do something with tequila. Okay, cool. We'll start with tequila as the base. But you're going to do this. That's weird. That doesn't go with tequila at all. Trust me, do it anyway. Okay. And so I just kind of grab the bottles that they tell me to and pour as much as they tell me to. And when I make a mistake, because that happened tonight, because this 2.5 ounces of tequila is closer to 3. Sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. I haven't had to start over yet, but I do know that that is a possibility if I mess the drink up too badly. And then when it's done, it almost always ends with a couple dashes of some kind of bitters to kind of round things out and close out the ritual, I guess you could call it. and then come mostly out of trance, sit down and drink.
So I think you've named the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what's the working title?
Working title, as I go to my notes, because I actually did write this one down, is Spirits with Spirits cocktail book. Or cocktail recipe book. Yep. Do I have names for any of these recipes yet? No. We're going to figure that out.
Yeah, all of mine come from Ode. So when we
Nice.
come up with a mead cocktail, I call Ode and say, here's what I put into it. Which god does this work the best with? So, and then wait for an answer. At some point, apparently, I might be able to do that as well, since I'm now, moving that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sarenth?
Yeah. It is my turn.
Drink, please.
Okay, so this is a Beach Street Brown Ale from Father John's. Father John. He was not
You have to say it 3 times?
I don't actually know what the ABV on this damn thing is. Hang on. It does not say. But I think this was like a small independent outfit. And I can't... If it's on here, I can't read the damn thing.
I said I wasn't going to drink them all, but there's that gone.
There you go.
Where is my... I need this. Oh, shit!
That's just wildly apropos for the episode that we are having. Check us out on OnlyFans.
Oh, shit.
See, Sarenth.
Just keep licking it, Sarenth.
Fuck you.
No, I think the bottle's got it covered.
You all suck. Anyway.
We're not the ones doing that.
I think we just figured out Sarenth's OnlyFans.
Okay. Where? God damn, it's still coming. Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
I don't know where I put my bottle opener. But apparently I'm not the only one having a good time, so...
Are you having a good time?
Tastes good.
Or is the bottle?
Yes. The bottle's having an amazing time. Now I just gotta figure out where I put my goddamn bottle opener. I can't review this.
Zach, Sarenth's bottle exploded before he got the cap all the way off, and it is spewing out suds everywhere. And Sarenth has done everything other than deep throat the bottle to make it stop.
Where the flying hell did my bottle opener go?
I think you threw it on the ground.
Shit.
I'm sorry, I know that's frustrating, but that is... I'm just dying over here, it's fine.
God damn. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah, Josie. Damn it, it's still coming.
Oh, God.
And Finn's pretty sure that Sarenth did indeed deep-throat it as well.
Probably, yes. It just didn't hit the gag reflex, that's all.
Catch us on OnlyFans, folks. Like,
That's because it didn't hit your vulva.
Jesus Christ,
Bring
Carl.
it back to the last one. You all are welcome.
Oh, it's a girl house.
Jesus.
Okay.
Did you find your bottle opener?
No, I have no idea where the fuck it is. Oh my god.
Is your ring tough enough to handle it?
Probably. Hang on. God damn.
You could always put this one on pause, ask your wife to grab another one.
No, that's cool.
Don't use your teeth. Don't use your teeth. Oh my gosh, don't use your teeth.
I just had to bend a little bit of metal. It's all good.
No, I was talking in the bottle's voice.
That was my thought too. Oh, Jesus. Jesus doesn't have anything to do with this podcast ever.
Jesus, like at this point.
Yeah. You look up to see if you can find your.
Josie said it's possibly embedded in the ceiling at this point. I mean,
Not
you know.
Finn, never use your teeth.
You all suck. Clearly not as much as I do, but you know. Oh God.
So how's the beer?
I'll tell you in a minute once I'm done with the damn foam.
Oh,
okay,
thanks,
now I'm actually gonna drink.
Okay.
That's really good.
Yeah. So is it still or carved?
Jesus.
Fuck you.
Brian Stevens, who was on here with us.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank you, Brian.
Oh my God, that is very carbonated.
Anderson said slower, Sarenth. Slower.
We are tagged as, right? We are tagged as 18 plus on YouTube.
Yeah,
God,
we're
I hope
definitely
so.
As 18 plus.
We're definitely not tagged for children. That's for goddamn sure.
Thank the gods, because, yeah.
And
Yeah, I
this is
set
how
this
Uncle
up as
Sarenth
18
Beef
plus.
Throats a bottle.
Yeah, I sent this up as 18 plus after I realized that they considered 3 pagans and a cat 18 plus. That this would definitely be.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
So it's really, really good. Clearly very fucking carbonated.
Jack. Slowly. It's too nice a job to rush.
Jack. Thanks, Jack.
Finn wants to know if we're moving to OnlyFans. Gemma Red Tube. Oh.
Well, if you want a beer that just never really lets you down and it's always it goes, yes, I was very gently tonguing my beer, thank you. It is smooth, it's really good. It's a good ale, it really is. I would probably
get overcarbed.
Shit bit. Just considering it exploded in my mouth, yes.
Are you doing that on purpose?
No!
Okay. Now, is it overcarbed or did it get shaken or was it too warm?
Okay, here's the thing. Like with some of these ales, I don't know if I'm supposed to serve this shit cold. I am assuming that because this was an American-made beer, it's probably assumed that you should be chilling it.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, I've done fucked up royal because it
That sounds like the name of an off-brand Fitbit. Says L. Yeah, kind of. Just a lot. It's fine.
It is a good. Oh, Finn.
Finn wants to know if you had a good piece of ale.
It actually is a good piece of ale, and despite it being explosive, it's really good. It's got a really good flavor. It's not too hoppy forward. It's not to kick you in the teeth with any of its flavors. It's really well balanced. It just clearly needed to be in the damn fridge first.
No, and no, it could very well be overcarved. Like I've had plenty of beers that are way overcarved.
Keeping in mind too, this is like a 3-year-old beer.
Mm.
I don't know if that affects anything, but it's like 3 years since I bought it.
And it's an ale?
If it's an ale, it could. If it was not, if there was a slight bit of yeast that was still fermenting a little bit, you can sometimes get some real slow go fermentation that you wouldn't notice, but over 3 years could make a difference.
Yep. Does it say whether it's wild fermented or not?
I don't know. I'd have to turn it sideways. Hang on. No, it doesn't say shit. It's just Father John's.
It would taste different if it was wild fermented, though. You'd probably notice that.
It was a really smooth ride from start to finish. Like even the excess that I was slurping off the top was actually really well balanced in terms of flavor. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is just like the flatness or the sparkles of the drink. It was actually like when I actually drank the actual beer, it was carrying the taste of the beer in the bubbles. Yeah, I was just excited.
I'd guess it's probably not wild fermented. Just a guess. Like, don't know. But probably some combination of a little overcarbed, maybe some long-term slow ferment, warmer than it was expected to be, maybe slightly shaken up, all of the above.
Maybe the spirits were just happy to see me. I don't know.
Who knows?
I got to tell you, though, so is this Father John's in Bryan, Ohio?
Yeah, it might be, yeah.
Yeah, so we need to go there at some time.
Why?
Because it's in an old 1895 Methodist church.
Yes!
And their tagline is Heavenly Devilish Brewing Company.
Nice. Sweet. There's a brewing company or a brew pub out in Saline, Michigan that's in an old church. And it's actually really fucking good. I can't recall the name off the top of my head, but I've been there. It's really good.
And there are pictures of all of the brewers.
Oh, nice.
Hold on, I'm going to share this real quick. Just because it's amazing. If I can find it. Should be
Salt Springs Brewery, perhaps?
There you go.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
So
well done.
Yeah, that's definitely a place we need to go to.
Yes.
So Jack, it was a picture of basically the Last Supper
with the brewers,
with all the brewers and the workers at the brewery.
Yeah.
And Salt Springs Brewery is the Saline brewery that we were talking about.
Okay, Salt Springs. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yep.
It's been almost 3 years since I've been there at this point, but yeah.
And then we could go to Vivant as well, which is in an old funeral home.
Yes.
In Grand Rapids.
Spirits with spirits.
Yeah, there we go. Not?
Yep. But in my opinion, the best thing there is the duck confit nachos. Not saying their beer's bad, but it's fucking duck confit nachos.
What the hell?
Yeah, I bet you that's really good.
That sounds too good to be true, but I want to try it now.
Delicious.
Poor floor.
So we all need to take a week off of work at the same time and just plan a tour of breweries.
I've got
record it every one and then upload them all later.
Drinking road trip. I'm down for this.
I'm going to need to let my boss know like 6 months in advance, but okay.
All right. Is it my turn again?
I think so.
It's my turn now. Sorry.
Unless y'all want me to blow this episode 13 mead, yeah.
All right.
Still, you're fine.
So I'm drinking Cozilla. And it is another IPA.
Nice.
It's an American IPA. It's done by Clag Brewing Company, which is stands for Crazy Likeable Asian Guy, whose name is oddly enough K-A-H. So, and this is from Sandusky, Ohio. I actually had somebody come into the brewery to try out our meads and decided that they liked it so much they wanted to leave me a beer from their hometown. So they took this out of their cooler and left it with me. This one is very much a piney IPA. It's not bad. It's really good. It's just, it's got that definite, like, it's an IPA. You know, there's nothing wrong with it.
It's an IPA.
It's an IPA, right, exactly. I mean, they kind of all taste the same to an extent.
There's only so much you can do with grass and pine.
There are no grass and pine in it.
I'm being
I gotta
smart
disagree, because I've had IPAs that range from, like, this tastes like a smoothie to this tastes like literal grass.
Yes, I agreed. But I would say that there's 25% on one side, 25% on the other side, and 50% right in the middle that kind of all taste the same.
True.
Okay. This is in the 50% that all taste the same.
Fair. Okay.
And it's fine for what it is.
This is true of beers too, though. I mean, you know, you get these beers, and eventually, if you drink enough beers, you start picking out, well, that's that flavor, and that's that flavor. And maybe it has more of this, maybe it has more of that. And I think it's kind of a similar distribution for beer in general.
So Finn said he's got Yule off. They've got Yule off. Sorry. So let's all do it then.
I mean, fuck. Yeah, fuck it. We'll figure it out.
Long as I get Yule itself with the kids.
Steel City Witch says, hold on, what else is on these nachos? It's the duck confit and the cheese. No, it's actually like nachos like you would make regular nachos, but rather than ground beef, it's duck confit spread all over it.
Yeah, that sounds really fucking good.
It is
like,
really,
nothing
really
like $20 nachos.
And Elle now wants nachos. They're not $20 either. They're like $8.
Yeah.
What?
It's a big plate.
Like coffee is not inexpensive. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So confit is actually a relatively cheap way of cooking because all it is like slow basting in oil effectively.
Or in this case, in its own fat.
Yeah.
I guess I assumed with duck it would be much more in terms of cost.
That's fair, and that's where I would assume any price would come from. Also, because people don't know what confit is, so they just assume you charge more for it.
I just learned what confit is, so you know.
Yeah.
It's basically duck cooked in duck fat.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking amazing. Because I love duck. I know how fatty duck can be, and I know likewise how rabbit can be in terms of fattiness. That sounds right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if we decide to do something of Avant, I suggest you all look at the food menu as well as the beer menu.
Oh, yeah. Backtracking for a moment to the beer flavors conversation.
Yes.
This is also part of my bias kicking in because I've had a lot of beer and most of them I don't remember. So it's kind of confirmation bias if I just remember the ones that I enjoyed more. But also I've hit that point where I no longer drink beers that I don't like. And I don't like beers that sit in the middle, right? Like you need to know what you're doing with a beer and commit to that thing, right? Like an IPA that doesn't know what it's doing is in the middle and isn't really doing a whole lot. I'm not going to drink that. I'm going to drink a super grapefruit IPA or a super grassy IPA or a super piney IPA. Those I'll drink. Like, I mean, I will drink the other ones if they're handed to me or whatever, but I'm not going to like pick them out.
So, but you don't know that until you've tried it at least once.
Fair, except I look at reviews online, but yeah.
Right.
I think there's something here though. Put all that aside, you are not like what I would consider a day drinker. Not like any of us really are.
Mm-hmm.
The most drinking I do is on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm kind of a day drinker, but it's part of my job.
Yeah,
That's a little different. But I
Yeah.
mean, like you have a definite niche of taste that you're actually taking care of through your own brewery.
Right.
Whereas I don't go to my local liquor guy and go, hey, just give me something stupid that'll get me drunk. None of us are really looking for that because, well, for one, you're fucking brewing, so you don't need to.
Yeah.
And for two, Maleck and I aren't drinking often enough where we need to do that.
Right.
Because otherwise, I'd be blowing God knows how much on stupid shit like hard liquor.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot to actually get me completely shit-faced. Or it takes the gods going, hey, that's a useful tool. I guess we're just going to go... I mean, I'm technically not a day drinker either. I'm a midnighter. Thanks, man. So, I mean, the thing with a lot of the drinks that we're talking about, they're in the middle of 50%. Well, why are they so popular? Because they're what people want and they're what people expect. And it's not like us sticking our noses in the air going, oh, look at this. Ugh, it's a regular IPA.
It kind of is to some extent. I think so.
Okay.
I would say Maleck and I are probably more biased because we both brew or have brewed on a professional level. And so, like, life is just different for us because we know what actually goes into making a creative product, and it's not that hard. It's the easy way out to make that 50% middle beer.
Ooh, that's a really good, you know what? Honestly, being a home brewer, that's a really good point. Because the only stuff that I've brewed, I've never brewed professionally.
Mm-hmm.
I've only brewed home brew. And the stuff that I pump out is higher octane and in some ways better tasting. Like even my cacao nib mead, I've had chocolate mead. And I'm like, why doesn't their stuff taste better than what mine is?
Right.
So that's a fair point.
Anderson says, do you think price point is a factor? It is kind of. Yeah. Because like I've had really, honestly, some of my favorite beers are not expensive for craft. I mean, they're not Bud Light, right? Like
that's a good point though. Like it depends on the market because if we're talking like beer, you're competing with Mad Dog 20, Budweiser, etc. If you're talking craft beer, that's a whole different category.
Right.
Yeah. And I pretty exclusively swim in the craft beer currents. And I'm with Carr. Like, I don't stick my nose up at a day drinker beer. Like, it is what it is, and that's perfectly fine. And I will drink it if it's handed to me and all of that. But I don't drink casually very often. Like, if I'm going to drink, it's because I want to enjoy the taste, generally. So if I'm going to drink, it kind of needs to be something special because also this is a history of experience with beer for me specifically. And granted, I am on the light end of this scale. Like I know people who are literally 10 times the level of experience that I am, but I've had going on like 2,500 beers now that I've kept track of. Individual beers. Like that's a lot. That's more than 2,000. That's a lot. So that kind of breadth of experience means that I just am not going to intentionally fuck with something that I don't think is going to be good. It's just not worth my time.
Yeah, I'm probably a little different in that I'll pick up something that I think is going to be very meh for the hope that it turns out to be amazing. So, so I'll give it that first try.
Yeah.
So, Maleck, are you on Untapped?
Yes.
And is that where you're rating the majority of these products?
Most of them, yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who are not familiar with Untapped, because Finn just asked the question, Untapped? Question mark.
Yes.
Untapped is an app that you can download, and put on your phone, and you can rate beers, meads, ciders, other things, other than liquor, I think.
Yeah, they don't do wines and they don't do liquor, but other than that, it's pretty much everything.
Right. And you can rate it on there, and other people can follow you and see how you rate those things, that kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much suck at it, but if anybody's interested, my name on Untapped is Tom Mack. That's THOMMAC. Tom Mack, all one word. Maleck, are you willing to give out yours?
Yeah, mine is lberry6595. If you happen to, Brian, yes, it is Pokemon for beer drinkers, very, very much. Also, you're chasing those badges. Oh, cool, Sarenth's downloading it. Yeah, my current check-ins, which these fluctuate some because they condense beers sometimes, like different years of beers, they'll condense sometimes. And I've got like verticals where I'll have like the 2016 and the 2014 and the 2013 and all of that, like of a single beer in a row. But I've got 2,255 check-ins, 1,536 individual beers, and I know that that's maybe 75% of what I've actually had because I don't check everything in all the time. Like, it's just how that goes.
And you can rate it. You can also just check in. So, like, I know Brian doesn't actually rate beers on Untapped, but he does check in on the app.
For a while, the brewery that I was working for had an unofficial rule of don't rate beers, at least not on company time, and especially not if they're in the same state as us, because it was like, we don't want to accidentally shit on the competition.
Right.
We don't want to piss in anyone's Cheerios, so I've got a significant number of beers that just are not rated, because that's when I did a pretty solid majority of my drinking, because working at a brewery, and you know, I think we've had the conversation on here about alcoholism in the industry.
Yeah,
it's a problem, but as Sarenth and Cara are on their phones, it's fine.
That's okay. I'm untapping.
I'm literally just signing up.
Oh no, I know. I'm just also rambling, and it's fine.
That's
what people show up for. So
right, exactly. It's really for your rant. It'll be fine.
But yeah. So random story time. There was a legit period of time when I was working at the brewery where I was at a beer tasting at least once a week, and I was. I mean, yeah. Okay, being honest, at least 10 to 15 beers per tasting. And that was individual beers, not like retries and, you know, shift beers and whatever else I was having. That was.
And these weren't flights, were they?
No.
Yeah, no. Full pour.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, maybe half pints, but also most of these beers were barley wines or stouts or high octane meads or what have you. So they were all 10+%.
Oh, Jesus,
Maleck. So yeah, 10 to 15 of those.
So how shit-faced are you getting? How often?
Oh, I was getting hammered at least once a week.
So
and that was on
alcoholism is an issue in the industry.
It is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And that was on top of shift beers at least once a day. Any tasting I did for quality control. Anytime I just felt like having a beer, I was working in a brewery. I could just have one.
Right.
No, the amount of alcohol I was consuming was genuinely dangerous.
But it's good for us to have these conversations because it's one of those silent killers that is left out of conversations on working in the industry.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to justify, oh, well, I mean, I have to have this for QC. Oh, it's just a shift beer. It's fine. And I mean, maybe it's fine if you're having 4% beer, but when your shift beer is 16 ounces of a purple IPA that's 12%, like, that shit adds up quick.
Yeah, very, 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 very quick and very dangerous for your fucking liver.
Yeah, and this is not me judging. Like, literally, I've been there.
No. I am. what I am saying is purely for bringing home the seriousness of the situation.
Yeah. I have a much healthier relationship with alcohol now, in part, and this is actually a conscientious choice on my part. That's part of why I engage in cultists with the alcohol spirits, is to help me treat them with the respect that is required for me to have a healthy relationship with them. Because otherwise, being completely honest, addiction runs really hard in my family. Like 4 generations total addicts runs in my family. I have to be careful.
Yeah.
Let me just bring the room right down. How about that?
No. Finn just said they're all valid points, and as someone getting into the industry, it's all valuable information. So Finn's in the process of starting a meadery in Oklahoma. So I think that's, it is a good thing for people to realize, like, the nights we do this are probably the only nights within reason that I'm hammered. I'll have a couple of drinks at the bar, and I don't drink at home at all, hardly. I mean, this is basically it.
And I mean, go ahead.
So this or drunk divination.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my family knows every other week this is what I'm going to be doing. No questions asked. My evening is cleared because I am not going to be in a headspace to say, wake up with baby girl. So my family knows, hey, Sarenth's going to be drinking. Sarenth is is going to be incommunicado.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get some flash traffic from different gods and goddesses and spirits, but like that's spirit work, and that's a whole different ball of wax. And because of what I am, who I am, they know that happens. But in terms of this show, this is the only time where I really drink, and this for me is the equivalent of sitting around a bar with you two and knocking back drinks, like kind of how around Grandfather Fire is like Caitlin and Jim and myself sitting around a Grandfather Fire with guests. This is rather like me sitting around a bar or like a bonfire with you two, slapping back drinks and going, well, that was a good drink. Or, wow, that drink really had a lot of fizz to it. This is the only time where I actually get drunk. If I even get drunk. Most of the shows, when I'm done here, I am perfectly sober or at least slightly buzzed, and I go to bed. And I feel like saying this because what I don't want to give the impression of is that any of us are trying to promote alcoholism, or that any of us are trying to say, in order to be in this industry, you've got to be X, Y, or Z. You've got to figure out your own way of being. And that's, whether that's being a pagan, being a brewer, being somebody that enjoys alcohol, you have to figure out where your limits are. And unfortunately, with the way that our society works, limits and boundaries are things that we are still having a very hard time negotiating. So if you're saying to yourself, I can only have one beer, or I can only have one drink, that's fine. We are not in any way, shape, or form saying that you should go above and beyond the boundaries that you need to set for yourself.
Yep.
So, if you've got a history of alcoholism in your family and you go, I can't even enjoy beer, what I hope you get out of the show is that we enjoy the drinks, but we're also connecting with these drinks spiritually and not just imbibing for the sake of imbibing.
Yeah.
I come on this show with the idea that we're going to share at least a little bit of our experiences as pagans and why we connect with alcohol so strongly with our various gods and goddesses. Because it's not just Kvasir, it's not just Othin, it's not just Dagda. It's alcohol itself has been a connective tissue for human existence for so long that it has grown up at least certain segments of our population in tandem. Yeah. And ignoring the contribution that beer has brought to our society is ignoring entire swaths of inspiration that alcohol can bring, ignoring what alcohol does on a scientific basis for, say, solutions, carriers of various medicines, that kind of thing. So if we dispense with alcohol, if we were to just say tomorrow we're going to dump every piece of alcohol down the drain, half of our tinctures would disappear, medicines would disappear, our ability to sterilize effectively would disappear in many cases. We still have autoclaves, we still have iodine and things like that, but entire stretches of human history would be lost, not because we're all sitting around getting shit-faced in front of a fire going, hey, you know what, brah, but because these have real power, real intellect, and real experience with us as spiritual human beings.
That.
I didn't mean to have a rant, but there you go.
There you go. Hey.
You consider that one a rant, though?
I don't know what the hell it was. It was just something I felt like I had to say.
Yeah, I think that was more. I don't know what to call it, but it definitely wasn't a rant. So,
Yeah, there wasn't nearly enough standing on a soapbox, so
Yeah. All right, so I have one more beer here.
Go for it.
Yep, which is Brian. You're gonna love this one, Brian Stevens. It's One Wells Brewing State of Bean. This is their coffee blonde, which I have not had, but One Well started a thing called Keepers of Craft, which is a homebrewing club, which Brian is a part of, and they are absolutely amazing. So, oh my gosh, that may be the best coffee blonde I've had.
Hey, darling.
That's really good. Yeah, it's definitely a blonde ale. But the coffee, a lot of coffee blondes try really hard to be stouts, but a blonde.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't. This one tries to be coffee and a blonde ale.
Okay.
Okay. So Brian Stevens says this and Bean Flicker, which I would agree, by Outside Ales, takes the cake. I really do like Outside's Bean Flicker as well.
It's really good, yeah.
An amazing name for a product, but yeah, this is very, very good. It doesn't try to be a stout, which seems to be the issue with a lot of these coffee blondes, is they try to be a stout.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't. It's very coffee forward. It's really, really freaking good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm super stoked with it.
Sorry, what was the name of that one more time?
It is State of Bean.
State of Bean. Cool.
Yeah, Bean.
State of Bean.
Yep.
I will have to remember that because that's awesome. Finding a beer that is coffee and not a stout is hard, especially if it would be good.
Yeah, most of the coffee beers that I've ever had are Dunkels.
Have you had Bean Flicker?
No.
Maleck?
I have.
Okay.
It's really good. Oddside in general is really good. But yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, I would agree with that. There's a couple of them that I'm like, on, but for the most part, I like Outside.
I have never had their drinks, so they're a company that I'd be interested in trying.
Well, if we ever do this, week-long tour thing, then we'll have to hit some of the bigger ones in the state as well.
Yeah.
I am very good with this.
We need to hire a designated driver though for that week.
We do.
Yeah.
And an RV.
Yeah. Yeah.
With 3 Pagans on tap, plastered to the sides.
Oh, Jesus.
It's
not that hard to get banners printed for shit.
Yeah, well, and I know somebody who has an RV that's for rent for, a Tom price. So
sweet.
Yeah.
This is such a terrible, wonderful idea.
Have a little mobile altar.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to remember the entire week. It's going to be an entire week of booze and spirit work. It's going to be, I'm just going to...
Jack, I love you.
Jack, I'll be your official driver. Perfect.
Perfect. Couldn't be any better than that.
Right?
I've actually seen Jack drive a golf cart. Just so everybody, the 3 of you or the 2 of you know, we don't want to be in an RV with Jack driving. I mean, I've seen it happen. Probably.
I am shocked.
Finn is inviting themselves to it. Finn, I'm sorry, you're gonna have if you're coming, you have to be our designated driver.
Oh,
And then Finn will not show up.
that's
Yeah,
fucking
right.
wrong, and you
And
know
he'll
it.
immediately not show up. No. No, we'll figure it out. No, but seriously, Sarenth and I are gonna wake up at the end of the week and be like, what day is it? And you're gonna tell us all these stories of shit that happened, and we're gonna be like, I believe you.
They said what in my body? Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that if we do this, we have to broadcast every night.
Yeah, no.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, like keeping it. We just every night we're online, or maybe several times during the day, depending on where we're at.
Yeah.
Just PayPal us $45 a night. That'll help pay for our booze and for the amount of exhaustion we're going to feel from carrying so many spirits.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh,
And the aspirin to overcome it.
no
Oh
shit.
my god! So we may as well buy stock in Advil or some shit right now.
Right, no kidding.
This is a really bad plan, but a really good plan.
Oh, it's a wonderful and terrible, terrible idea that we should definitely do.
Wife's gonna call me for night prayers. Who the fuck was that talking to us? I don't know.
That's a fucking idea. Yeah.
All right, I believe Sarenth, you have one more.
I do. It's episode 13 by B Nectar Meadery. It's a 2-year reserve, which I bought a couple of years ago. So it's,
So it's not like a 4-year.
it's like a 4-year reserve now.
There you go.
May the 4th be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, my Catholic ancestors are like, and also with you.
They changed it now. Now it's like
I know it's and with your spirit.
There we go.
I know, but I don't give a fuck.
I know.
Oh, that smells good. It's fruity. It's not cloying sweet. That's one of the things I like about Bee Nectar is that even their really sweet meads tend not to be like, I'm going to punch you in the mouth.
Waiting for me to somehow foam up and explode out of the horn. I mean, we are too. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's like the spirits just want to know them to suck them off. I don't know. It's weird.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So
Elle learned the hard way tonight that smells can lie. Elle, I want to hear about this in the after party.
Elle, I know for a fact, had to pour out a beer tonight.
16.2% alcohol by volume, honey wine, aged in bourbon barrels for 24 months. This is excellent stuff. I love it. I wish I'd picked it up earlier.
Interesting.
I'm gonna have to try that. I'm the most of what I see of Bee Nectar is they're like 6% session meads.
Yeah, and I don't care for that because, like, if I wanted 6%, I'd buy craft beer, right?
Right, exactly, and so that's why I tend to stay away from Bee Nectar. And
It's
I
the
get
same reason I don't like Blom as much. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Blom, I get it. Although, let me just say, Blom's going for a thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's their gig. They are definitely just that. That's what their gig is. They specifically want to do session meads. That's all they want to do.
That's fine.
Ipsy has Maniacal. You ought to try them. I think you've had a couple of Maniacal.
I've had a couple on the show.
Yeah, yep. So, which tend to be a little bit higher ABV.
Yes.
So
I have spoiled. I have to put this out there. I spoiled myself by starting homebrewing because my ABV was so goddamn high it qualifies as a fucking liquor.
yeah,
Right.
And I'm used to, like, I'm gonna try a little bit of this, and if I try it anymore, I'm gonna get shit faced. I honest to God tested my gravity every time I did my stuff. I did it correctly, tested my gravity. I no bullshit, even with wild meat, at some points I had 24-25% alcohol by volume. And all I did
as a commercial brewer, anything above 16% alcohol is more in taxes.
right.
So we tend to stay away from that line,
Right.
Because the TTB does give us plus or minus,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, we have a plus or minus percentage that we can hit.
Sure.
But yeah, we tend to stay away from these 16 plus because then we pay. It's a healthy chunk more in taxes.
To be sure, because it's liquor.
Right.
I mean, I honestly kind of spoiled myself when I was doing home brewing because my ABV was so fucking high on the wine I was making that if it doesn't hit that ABV, I'm like, oh, well, okay. It's almost, and I don't mean to poo-poo on anybody that's making lower ABV mead, but I've almost kind of spoiled myself because with homebrewing you don't have to worry about any of this shit.
Right.
I'm not exactly paying fucking taxes to the government for less than 500 barrels a year.
Right.
Which I'm certainly not hitting. But the and they should have their, to be fair for what they're doing, they should have their cut. Like the reasons those institutions are in place, if you look at the history for why they are, we fucking needed them. Because at one point in time, you could add any old thing without any kind of oversight.
Right.
You want to stretch this with a little bit of turpentine? Not a fucking problem. We don't give a shit if it poisons the customer. So I get why the FDA and the ATC or whatever, the TTB, excuse me.
Yep.
I get why those are around and why they operate the way they do. I guess that in a lot of ways, I've been kind of spoiled on what you can do with homebrew versus commercial alcohol. Because there's certain things that I'm looking for in higher octane mead that I'm not looking for in like Blom or whatever that can't be done because I want a really high octane mead with all these fruit flavors or all these different flavor combinations that they literally can't do unless they want to pay out the nose in taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, you've had Norse Nectar stuff.
And I liked it a lot.
Okay. So it compares okay to your homebrew stuff that's higher ABV.
It's not that it compares okay, because like comparing my homebrew stuff compared to stuff that comes out of a can is comparing apples and oranges. And that's what I'm trying to kind of get at.
Right.
Is because if I've got like a primo bottle of alcohol versus a can, I am certainly not expecting the ABV of that can to hit anywhere near what I'm expecting that bottle to hit, especially for the price point.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I think that like it kind of goes back to the conversations we were having around IPAs and beers, right? Your price point and what you're expecting out of that beer is contingent on what the industry average is versus what the particular niche you're trying to hit is. And yours, without sounding like I'm trying to pander here, yours is one of the best tasting canned meads I've ever had. And even compared to a lot of bottled meads, because I've had, like, for instance, Ragnar's and that god-awful one, I can't remember even what the title of it is anymore.
Oh, Redstone?
Yeah.
Yeah, Redstone, yeah.
I've had meads that cannot compare at all in your galaxy of flavor. And the thing is, it's like, it's not just that I've seen how you do things, it's I've tried your mead before I knew how you did shit.
Right, right.
And I can tell you that compared to most of the meads that are out there, you blow them out of the water because your flavors are not only intact, but they're actually still very vibrant and able to be separated from the straight alcohol content of your drink.
Well, thanks. I wasn't looking for that. I was just looking for if it was different from what your homebrew stuff was. But thank you.
Absolutely.
So we are now an hour 20 into this episode, and Maleck only had one drink.
I mean, to be fair, my drink had like 5 shots in it, but
although I will say Sarenth's Exploding Head probably had, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes of the episode, maybe 15.
Well, you know, I have to be really thorough.
All right, so I think that's it for this episode. Would you all agree with that?
I absolutely would.
All right, so Sarenth, tell us where people can find you.
All right, so you can find me. My writing is at sarenth.wordpress.com. If you want to see everything except for the Q&As that I put out you need to go there. So I put out prayers, I put out articles and topics, and I'm working on what now looks like to be 3,000 plus words for an article that Maleck suggested, because Maleck's a rotten prick.
Love you.
I love you too, you fucking asshole.
That's twice in a row.
I know.
Twice in a row.
Go fuck yourself. So anyway, so if you like my writing, if you would like divination from me, go to Sarenth Odinson on patreon.com/SARENTH ODINSSON. And you can find me there. If you want rune readings every month, sign up for the Rytho level, which is $45 or more. And I will do a rune reading for you once a month. If you want to go higher, if you want to see me more often, or if you need more in-depth readings, that kind of thing, hit me up for a higher Patreon level. I do workshops every month for the Rytho level and above. This month's workshop, I believe, is going to be, we just did the Powerful Ancestors, and I believe this one is Yggdrasil, Its Roots and Branches, which is an overview of heathen cosmology. That's my workshop for this month. I also co-host the podcast Around Grandfather Fire with James Two Snakes Stovall and Caitlin Stormbreaker. Excellent podcast. We just interviewed Maria Jacobson, which is a Nordic shaman out of Denmark. Wonderful interview. Lovely guest. We're going to probably have her back on, hopefully in the next year or so. And I invite you to check us out at Around Grandfather Fire on anchor.fm and wherever you're going to get your podcasts from.
I have a question.
Yes.
So for people who aren't at that level or above, can they get your class at a one-time price?
They can, and it is also $45. If you want a rune reading from me, though, it is $75. It is much more worth your while to sign up for my Patreon.
There you go. Maleck, where can people find all of your stuff?
So you can find my writing, and Sarenth, talks a lot of shit for someone who tossed me a single topic that is going to take me 3 months to write on. As Sarenth flips me the bird, it's fine.
Not just one.
Not just one.
Two birds.
So you can find my writing at Maleck, MALECK.home.blog. Most of my writing is on Pack Magic, but I also write about heathenry and some other topics as they come up and as people request them. I even did a rant on crystals in heathen or in pagan practice, really, because somebody requested it. If you want to request for me to rant on a topic, since apparently that's popular, you can find my Patreon at Patreon / wow, I almost said Sarenth. Maleck Odinson.
If you want to throw me money for Maleck's rants, go for it. But you're not going to get Maleck's rants.
I don't think that's how that works, but we'll see.
Toast my goats.
While I'm on the topic of Patreon, let me read off our patrons real fast.
Hang on. Put your actual Patreon.
Patreon /MALECKODINSSON.
Thank you.
Is my Patreon. Thank you for reminding me. So our patrons are Josie at the taster level. At the half pint, we have Emily Hall. At the pint level, we have Charles Howison, L. Faithful. Oh, sorry, I missed Melkor at the taster level. I am terribly sorry. We also have Ganessa at the pint level. I am all over the place tonight. It's not okay. Also, we have some changes to the Patreon coming up because of kind of changes to the way the show is functioning and how we're doing things now. Some changes need to be made to the Patreon. We're still kind of working on what that's going to be, but those will be coming ideally next episode, though I'm not making promises. That's pretty much where you can find me, and that's our patrons.
Car.
Okay. So you can find me on the Three Pagans and a Cat podcast with my lovely wife and amazing kid, Ode and Gwen. You can support us at patreon.com/3 Pagans and a Cat. I also apparently am now doing a video series called Three Pagans Eat with an exclamation point plus Jackson. No, we're not eating Jackson, as Sarenth assumed earlier, but we are doing a YouTube series on food that we have. It'll probably be monthly or randomly sporadic, depending on if we go out and have something good in between. We will probably never talk crap about a restaurant, so it has to be someplace that we actually like. That's just who we are as people. Beyond that, I don't really do all. Oh, I own a meadery.
Thank you.
And a brewery and a soon-to-be distillery, and you can find that at norsenectar.com. Or if you just are in the Kalamazoo area and you want to come out and visit us, you can find us on Facebook at Valhalla Kalamazoo, and that will give you all of the information about what we're doing there. We actually have I think 7 events this month going on, including tarot readings.
Excellent.
With a note of 3 pagans and a cat. Who knew?
Yeah. Oh, Jasmine Green, good to see you. Glad you got to tune in this time. Thanks for coming.
Excellent.
And, that is true, El. I do work 80 hours a week or thereabouts. It's a little ridiculous. That doesn't include 3 pagans and a cat or 3 pagans on tap. So, that's just brewery stuff. But, sleep is for when I'm dead and gone.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I want to really say, everybody out there, thank you for supporting us, and thank you for tuning in. All of you who tune in and provide us the running commentary, really appreciate it, especially when drink explode in my mouth. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you all for being with us and enjoying the hour and a half shows that we put on for you.
Mm-hmm. Sarenth floating head.
Hey,
Yep, leaving that one up for the end of the episode. All right, I will actually join the Patreon this time, so or the Discord.
The Discord, yes. We're going to have an after show Discord. So if you folks aren't signed up yet, go to 3 Pagans on Tap Discord.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, that's it. Bye, Sigel.
Bye.
Take care, folks.